Let's turn to the Bundesliga, top of the table clash. Jules, I thought this was, well, I mean, Captain Obvious here. I thought this was the game of the weekend.
Yeah.
Leipzig traveling to face Bayern, finishing 3-3. This game had everything. And who better to dissect that a little bit than Jan Age Fjortoft? Jan, I'm going to hit you straight at the top. The Italian in me says, ooh, I don't like to see that bad defending. But then again, mostly from Bayern. But then again, I was thrilled. Is there something to read into it from Bayern's perspective about some of the things that they weren't able to do, some of the mistakes, some of the things that Hansi Flick needs to work on now?
Well, I think that when we saw the end of the Champions League this year, when I played the tournament, we were all discussing how high they are standing with their defense, and there were not a lot of teams that could exploit that weakness, so to say. But Hansi Flick will always say, when we say your defense is bad, your positioning is bad, he will give you three reasons why it's quite good. That is the Bundesliga, the winning the cup, and winning the Champions League. But I think Nagelsmann in this game did it quite well because he came without strikers. And you saw Süle and Boateng, they had no clue in the whole world where to run. I mean, some of the goals, you could just have a look at the goals and you see, well, the goal with Forsberg was not, they didn't find the man and they couldn't communicate well. But also the goal from Kluivert when Süle, should I stay or should I go? And I think that exploit Bayern very much so. Do I think that he's worried about his defense? No, not his big time worry, but he will be big time worried that Süle and Boateng so individual tactically looking so bad, because these two are seen as some of the best centre half in Europe.
Well, and I'm a big fan of Süle, but what gets me here though is it's not the first time that we've seen Leipzig play without a center forward. So we know that was a possibility that he was going to do that. And if we know that, I assume Flick knew that. And I assume that he would have prepared Boateng and Süle for that possibility, especially considering that you were taking a gamble by playing Javi Martinez in the middle of the park. And then as we saw, the guy had to go out and you had to play Musiala in there, who's not a central midfielder. He scored a great goal and is a really promising player. Why weren't they prepared for this? I mean, is this something he's going to regret? Or as a player, can you prepare for it?
I think they were prepared for it, but I think that if you look at Bayern lately, they're winning games, but still you can also see that they're getting a bit more tired. And I think you also have to see all the injured players they have. And sometimes when you're winning 3 titles in 1 year, you kind of get a God syndrome kind of thing that you think you will win anyway, whoever you put in midfield, but you will see where is Kimmich when you need him. And you saw, for me, man of the match was Forsberg. I think Forsberg was excellent in this game. There was no one coming up to him, and we can speak a lot about Musiala coming on, but he's 17. Great goal, but how should he kind of solve these kind of troubles that normally Goretzka and Kimmich kind of sort out among themselves? So I think they were prepared, but I think that Bayern has always shown when they've been weak on something, Müller, Lewandowski, and the rest of Gnabry and all these kind of players, they will kind of sort that out. I also think that Lewandowski have a very, very bad, but by his standard, that was not the Lewandowski we knew. And then sometimes that end up, and thank God that they're keeping a bit the excitement in the German Bundesliga.
It wasn't as bad as Sane. I just want to add to that before I throw it to Jules. By the way, they played their C team effectively in the Champions League in midweek. So while I appreciate fatigue is an issue, Leipzig had to go and play a difficult match against Istanbul Başakşehir, whereas they were able to really spend the whole week preparing for this match. Jules?
No, it's just to. I think Kingsley Coman was incredible, and the hat trick of assists is fantastic. But when I watch Leipzig play, this is what they would never win the Bundesliga, I think, or even the Champions League, because they cannot see out games where they should win like this, big games. I mean, that they should win. It was the same against PSG in Paris where they lost 1-0. They should have won that game every day. It was the same against Bayer Leverkusen when they drew 1-1. A game they should have won. And there's other examples this season where they've got everything there for them to win the game. And I don't know if it's a bit of vice that they need, and at times you need to make some fouls that would win you the game and be maybe a bit more nasty, or maybe the lack of experience, I don't know. Maybe Nagelsmann at the end should change a bit. When you get to 75 minutes and you're 3-2 up, maybe you change a little bit your tactic, I don't know. But it was frustrating watching them not winning that game.
I strongly disagree with the fact they can't see out games. But Jan, you get the deciding vote. Let's say Jan decide. Yeah, we're a democracy here.
So give me exactly what I'm voting for, because I have to do this right.
Okay, Jules thinks that their problem is they cannot see out games. They cannot defend a lead.
The game they should win, like Saturday.
Well, I'm still not sure what I'm voting at. And in these days, when we see how if we could have stopped counting, if we're going to stop voting. But I will be a diplomat. I think that Nagelsmann made it right. And if I understand it right, Jules, you mean that was not good enough for him? Or was it that he can't do it over enough games?
That they should have won the game, and I wonder why they didn't win the game. Is it because they lack experience, because they're not maybe nasty enough, or maybe Nagelsmann should have changed something a little bit towards the end?
Yeah, well, it's fair enough, but he scored 3 goals away from home.
Thank you.
And he didn't win the game.
He didn't have Klosterman.
But I think that is the big difference between Bayern and the 2 main challengers, RB Leipzig and Dortmund. And yes, I haven't forgotten Leverkusen, because Bayern will always, even on a bad day, they will somehow manage to take that over the line and get that point. RB Leipzig not getting the point. I think that is it's hard to define, but that is the culture that Bayern got and RB Leipzig haven't. I 100% agree with.
Okay, then that means that on the official recount, I win and you're wrong, Jules. You lose. Jan, thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.